Hi there, fellow gerontology faculty. It is Sunday afternoon, April 19th, and this is an instructional video for those of you that need a little help in terms of making up your final assessments and integrating Blackboard to do so. I know a lot of you guys already have this wired, but I just want to make sure that we bring everybody on board. And so what I'm going to do is, as indicated in this slide, I'm going to go over how to create an exam in Blackboard, and later on I'll show you in subsequent videos over the summer how to do things a little bit more in a more complex fashion. The second thing we're going to do is go how to create a Turnitin assignment in Blackboard for evaluating the papers as an assessment. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use weighting in Blackboard. So this way you'll have the exact weighting that you talked about in your syllabus automatically performed for you in Blackboard, which is important. Okay. All righty. Very cool. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go to a class that's sadly is not going to happen this year because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we'll just do the creation that we need to do. So like I said, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create an exam in Blackboard. And so what we do is we're going to create a content area, all right, because these right here are all different content areas, okay, in your taskbar in Blackboard. Right? So I'm going to add a content area, and I'm going to call this exam, okay, and you could call it for whatever class year it is, if it was 310 or 414 or whatever. All right, so you have to make this available to the student users, okay, and you hit submit, and you see it now popped up right here, okay. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and make an exam, okay, so we click right there, all right. You come in your choice of assessments, okay, so this is going to be a test, okay. This class has never been run before, so it's not going to select from something, but I could call it this because I was playing around earlier. I'm going to create something brand new, right? And this is called my CR final exam. All right. Very cool, right? You give a little description right here, all right? So I'm sorry if I'm messing with the camera right there. So the exam covers third class. It has multiple choice. And that's it. Questions. And you can do whatever you want right there. Okay, so that will come up on the exam when the students read it, so they know what's going to be happening. Instructions. You say, please, okay, remember to say answer while taking the exam. Okay, so and then you say hit submit. So that's really crucial, and I'll show you why later on. Because if there's a power outage and that student is halfway through the exam, at least they can go back in and they can start where they left off. Okay, so awesome. All right, cool. So we hit submit. Okay, all righty. And so there's the description, there's the instructions, and now it's time to start creating some exam questions. All right, it's just that easy. All right, so we can start with a multiple choice exam. Okay, all right. I generally speaking just let it go by number, so I don't put a title for each question right here, but you can. It'll say the number and then the title, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Here's the question. Okay, is true. All right, so there's your question. All right, so you can set up as many choices as you want. The default is 4. Okay, all right. In terms of the multiple choices, he is a rock star. maybe that's the correct answer. That indicates right there. Okay. He has his PhD in gerontology. Okay. Okay. All these appear to be true, so I'm going to do the last one. This is going to be the correct answer. All. Okay, so that's it. It's pretty straightforward. So that's question one. Okay. What you then do, you can put some feedback in here if you wish. Okay. And you hit submit. All right. Now by default, you see over here on the right. Okay, it's 10 points. Okay. I like to make my multiple choice questions worth 2. Short answer questions worth 4, and then my essays worth 8. And I like to make it all add up to be 100 points because that way it's always on a 100-point scale. So you guys can figure that out on your own. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to 2. I'm going to hit submit. Okay, and now that is it. Okay, so that's one question. All right, it's time for another question. I'm going to create a question. This time it can be true or false. Okay, all right. And so what I would say here is, yeah, okay. College. Sorry, fingers are going a little too quickly. All right, gerontology. All right, true or false? I say that's true. All right, I'm going to hit submit. Okay, and we scroll down here. It's 10 points. That's way too much. All right, so I'm going to make this is 2. Okay, submit. We're good. Okay, now it's time to ask them to actually do something different than multiple guess. Okay, so we're going to actually create some exam questions that we can you can kind of instruct them. I want this to be a short answer. Okay, all right. So it's a short answer question. All right. Is all right. What is Dean Collins' nickname? Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. So you write the answer right there. Okay, and then this will show up when when the grading is all done, and they'll see what the correct answer is. So I put it as Hussey right there. Okay, so that'll be part of the feedback. Here's a way of indicating the number of lines. You say, that'll be in there as well if you want to leave it at that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to hit submit. And since this was a little more of a compelling question, I'm going to change the value of the question to 4 points. All right, cool. Awesome. All righty. And then lastly, I'm going to go ahead and make an essay question right here. Okay. So this is where you're going to ask them to do a bit more. Okay. And so in this essay question, we can ask them what was online delivery. All right. So that's a pretty explosive and complicated question. All right. So again, the correct answer is, of course, Gerald has been doing an amazing job. Okay. And I could go on and on right now, but I'm not going to. Okay, so we're going to hit submit right there. Okay, so then we see down here that this is worth 8 points. Okay, because it's more important. Oh, all right, so we can see that we have 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8. It is a total of 16 points so far in the exam. Okay. All righty. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to hit OK. All right. And then you hit submit. You have to go through multiple steps on Blackboard. It can be cumbersome at times, and hit submit again until you finally get to the actual page the way it looks right here. So that's what the students would see. Okay. Now it says right here, as you can see, the availability of this item is hidden from the students, all right? Because there's a second step that you need to take care of, and that is you need to go into here and you have to edit the test options. When you hit edit the test options, okay, probably the most important keystroke you're going to have to make is you're going to come down here. There's lots and lots of options, and the most important thing is right here. Okay, you can look over these, you can decide what it is you want to do, but this is the most important thing right here. Make the exam available to the students. Okay, now sometimes when I'm teaching in my class, okay, residential, I would just come in and boom, I'll open it. Okay, but you have the option of creating a window for them to do it. All right, so within that window, you can set a timer. Okay, so our traditional exam time is 2 hours. You might do it during this uh, COVID-19 pandemic, maybe give them 3 hours because it's pretty stressful right now. That's up to you guys. You do whatever you want. Okay. Um, you can create a window as to when they can take the exam. Okay. So in order for that to work, it goes right here. All right, it says 1:37. Okay, awesome. I'm looking at my clock over there on 4:19. Okay, and I might want to give them a full 24 hours to do this. And so I'm going to put it over there. So now you can see that I changed the date right there. Okay, creating a passport is okay, but it's a bit of a pain because if there's a lack of communication, the student cannot get in there and do the exam. You have the option of setting up due dates. Okay, the last time that you would accept this, there's really no need to do that as long as you set this up right up here correctly. Okay, and again, if you just want to release the exam immediately, all you need to do is go like this and go like this, and then make sure that you have this make test available button queued in for yes. Either way, you have to have done this on yes. When you set up the time, like we have done here, if you don't have yes in terms of making available to students, then it won't be released. So that's super important. This key is super important. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Um, this is where, and I'm not going to get into it. Somebody can email if they need to. If you have a DSP student that needs special accommodations, this is where you do it through here. You can double the time for the student, etc. in there. But I'm not, only just email me if you have a question about that. Okay, awesome. All right, you want this test to be included in the grade center, okay, the calculations. All right, all righty, and we'll figure out weighting later on. For me, as soon as the students are submitted, or you can do it on a time release, I want to give them as much feedback as possible. So I click on all that, okay? And I have it right now. After they submit, they get that feedback immediately. The grading of the multiple choice of the short answer and the grading of the essay exam will come later because you actually have to go in there and do it. And or you could do it on a date that you've set up. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Okay. Alrighty, I like them to see the exam all at once, not one question at a time. Okay. In large classrooms, residential, and when you want to guard against cheating, you can randomize these questions right here. And later on for summer, I'll show you how to set up exam question pools so that the students can get different questions. Okay. Okay, so that is it right there. I hit submit. And as you can see right here now, it no longer says that it's not available because the window that I set it up, it is available. All right. So then what a student would do is they would go in. Okay. So again, if I was a student, the default page for the course is the announcement page. Okay. And then I would come in and I would click final exam. Okay. And you email them instructions and let them know. You can even go in here and rename the link so that it's very clear to them that this is April 19. So it's something that they see. Okay. All right. Cool. And then you hit the green check, and then that'll be saved right there. Okay. All right. So when the student takes the exam, they click on here. Okay. All right. And these are the instructions that we gave. Okay, all right. So we're going to come in here. I'm going to hit begin. And so this is exactly what the exam would look like to the students. Sorry, it was blurry from Blackboard, not from me. Okay. All right. So I would say this is true, all the above, and then you're going to hit save answer. Okay. You just want to make sure you save every answer. I'm going to say that this is true, and I'm going to hit save answer, and then I'm going to say over here, short answer. Oops, sorry, my caps are locked. Is Hossie. That's saved as well. Okay. And then over here, I would say awesome. Okay. And then you have to accept an answer because awesome is just like amazing. Okay. So you hit save and submit as a student. Test submission confirmation. Okay. Okay. All righty. There it is. Test saved and submitted. And there's your confirmation. Okay. Very cool. Awesome. All right. So that's part one. All right. So let's go back to the announcements. Okay. Right? And so you see what happened here is since I had hit submitted, okay, I had hit feedback upon submission. The student, here's their ticket, okay, and then this is their exam, and it's so the multiple choice were graded automatically, and luckily I got 2 out of 2 here. And then you see right here that the short answer and the essay question needs to be graded. Okay. And so that then is done in the Grade Center. Okay, so how do we get to that? So we can go over here. So there's, when you look at the Grade Center, okay, you can either get to the full Grade Center by going full Grade Center, or you can get there by just clicking on this arrow. Okay. All right, awesome. You would then go, no, I am the instructor, so it didn't go in. But if I was a student, you would see my name right here, and then you would click on the exam to be graded. And I'll show you how that is done over here. Okay, so this is my my big class. Okay, so if we come over here, and again go down to the same grade center. Okay. All right, and these are my students right here. And I'm just going to scroll over and get to the exams. Blackboard had a modification recently, and it's really kind of a shame. It makes things jump around. All right, so these are the exams. All right, so I could go right in here, and I'm going to look at this attempt, and this is how you would then grade the exam. If it hadn't been graded, there would just be a circular icon that it reflects the fact that it needs to be graded. Okay, so we can see right here that again it was randomized right here. This was the student's answer. This was the correct answer. Okay, alrighty, awesome. You can give a little feedback, all right? And that's what that is right there. And that's how the feedback comes in terms of the essay questions, all right? Okay, so that's how that's done. And I'm going to go back here to my course announcement page for that class because we'll come back in there later on, okay? Awesome. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to create another content for a final paper, all right? So this would be final, sorry, I can't type, final paper. Okay, and I want paper there. Okay, I want to make this available to my students. Okay, and I'm going to hit submit, and there's the final paper right there. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this. Okay, obviously we are very concerned about originality in any type of writing and submissions that our students do. So the best thing to do is to use a Turnitin assignment. Okay, all right. And you can see Turnitin spinning its wheels up here. Okay. Alrighty. So I want this to be a paper. Next step. Okay. see, sending a request right there. All right, so you just got to be patient. There it is. Boom. Okay. All right. So this is my final paper. Okay. I'm going to give you 30 points for this paper. I'm going to only allow types of documents that Turnitin can check for similarity. All right. That's an absolute must. And so you have to inform your students of that as well. You can set up the due dates right in here, okay? So you can see here that the start date is today, the due date is in a week, okay? The post date is in a week. And these are all modifications that you can do. You have all kinds of other settings in here. When you hit this, okay, so this is where you can give your instructions. The problem with the instructions is it has limited characters. Putting in links is an issue, and putting in photos and things like that is an issue. So, but you can put it in and some assignment, and I mean, some instructions, okay. And do you want submissions to be done after the due date? I generally say yes, because it will, when you have the criteria up here, it's marked as late, and so that way you just inform the students that every day they get 10% taken off of whatever your criteria is, okay. And then that's it, okay. And you have lots and lots of options that you can check in there. So I'm going to hit submit, okay? And that's submitting the options part, okay. All right, so this Turnitin assignment was so successfully added. Awesome. Cool. All right, and that's how it appears then in the content. So when it goes right here, all right. All right, so we can go back to the announcements, which is the home page that the students see when they open up the Blackboard. Like I said, they can take the exam here, all right, and that's what the exam looks like because we just did that, or they can go into the final paper. Okay, do well, my friends. Okay, and that's the instructions. Okay, you can also create a content area. Okay. And this can give you much more elaborate instructions. And I can show you what I mean by that later on. Okay, and then you can add here at this point, you can add a paper. All right, so I browse my computer. So I'm going to go to, maybe I'll go to my 414 class. All right. All right. All right, so that looks like a really good paper to add. So you just go like that, and you hit submit, and hit submit. Sorry, and now it is part of the instructions. Okay, all right. You can add text. All right. You can add videos. You can add links. Okay, so if I just do a quick link right here, all right, and that's the link to the USC homepage. All right, you do when you're adding. Sadly, links, it's best rather than do copy paste with your mouse. If you just remember the old classic HTML type program, just do Control C, okay? And then when you go back in here, you would hit Control V. All right, hold on a sec. There it is right there. Now to make it an actual link, you hit the chain link up here, okay? And you can paste with your right click, but there's so many things that won't use the mouse. I've gotten used to using the traditional method of Control V and Control C. So Control V is paste. I like to open in a new window, and I hit Insert, and that's it. And you can add anything you want, okay, in terms of the paper instructions. including a rubric. Okay, so here's your instructions, and there's the actual Turnitin, and this is where the students would click to actually upload their papers. Okay, and they should know this. You can change the order if you wish and have your instructions on top. That's all good. Okay, so why don't I go to another course, okay, and I'll show you what, for those of you that you should all know how to do this, but we can just go to another course. And this class doesn't have a paper, so I'll just look at another course that does have a paper, and we can look at those Turnitin assignments, okay? Alrighty, and we can go over here to, again, you get down to your grade center, okay? All right, and it's going to take me eventually to my grade center. There it is. All right, it's a huge class, my friends, 250 students. All right, so it's going to take me down here. And this is a critical thinking assignment right here, which is a short paper. All right, so what you do is go like this, you look at the attempt. Okay, so I'm going to look at the similarity report right here from Turnitin. Awesome. So we see he only had 5% similarity, and that is an awesome job. Okay, and you can see where the similarity came in right here. Okay, and you click on this, and it tells you the source. Okay, so obviously that is a term of art, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. Okay, same down here. We can click on this right here, and again, this is it tells you the source, and then you can click here and find out where that was taken from. All right, so there you go, and if it's from another student's paper, that would pop up as well. All right, okay, so that's you know, again, pretty useful. Okay, all righty. So we're back to the course that we were designing together. Okay, so then the last thing we want to do, okay, is we need to go into the grade center. Okay. All righty. And so we have the weighted total right here. Okay, so we're going to edit this. Sorry, my face is in the way. Okay, edit the column information. Okay. So we have to decide, what type of weighting we want to give these to different assignments that we have. Now, we have this final exam. It is categorized as a test. So it's bet, because the cool thing about using tests is if you have multiple exams, then when you add this, I'm going to add it right there, and it is allocated its percentage. I could have 10 tests, but I only want them to be 50% of my grade. Okay, and that's how you put that in. Okay, you have options of dropping the lowest grades, and this is way out of the scale for this, but when my class, in addition to doing exams, we have 15 different quizzes, and we oftentimes will let them drop the lowest grade. Okay, alrighty. So keep this as equally. All right, do not do proportionality. All right, awesome, cool. All right, so that's one. The paper, any paper, so you may have 3 papers in your class. If you use Turnitin, they are all categorized as assignment. Okay, so then you put that in. Okay, so we can then, this was the test, this was the assignment, we can make this worth 50%. Okay, alrighty. So now you have a 100% weighted total based on those 2 assignments. And again, this is totally up to you what you're going to do. And this will be then calculated all throughout the semester as a running total for the weighted assignments. So this way the students know exactly where they stand all semester long based on the percent weighting of the assignments and how many they have submitted. All right. So then you hit submit. And it's done. Obviously, there's no students in this class. This is a class I'm just playing with, but I can show you how this all plays out when I look at my other class. Okay, so this is my big class. And my big class has lots of assignments. Okay, so we're going to take a look over here. Sorry. And by the way, I forgot to mention this. This is a picture that is a really really large picture, and it's taking a long time to load. It's my dog. Okay. These are videos that I send out to the students of my lectures right here. Do remember that communication is key, and so I'm going to put an edit right here, and I'm not going to create a new announcement, but basically you title the announcement, you put in what you want, which we had text, we had the picture of my dog, we had my video, and I do it as a link right up here, as well as a YouTube picture to give it some panache when they look at it. But on your phone, you cannot access the YouTube automated link. You have to put this link right here. But beyond that, I'm kind of digressing. This right here is key, crucial. Every time you make an announcement, you click this, okay, and then you hit submit, okay. And I'm not going to hit submit again right now because I've already sent this announcement out. But it's crucial in terms of communication. Plus, I'm going to go back over here to Grade Center, okay, just because. And then I can come back to the announcement page. By having these announcements, and again, it's going to take forever to load the dog, but by having these announcements all throughout the semester, you have documented proof of communication. Okay, and this is the lawyer wife in me that really says this is a good option. And I separate from that, it is really important to have this. And that way, also if a student adds your class late, or they haven't been paying attention to their emails, this is as you can see, it is date stamped right here and time stamped. So this is what's been going on for them if they've been out of commission. Okay. All righty. All right. So I'm going to kind of finish up here by doing the Grade Center again. Bella's a gerontology dog. She's 11. Okay. Okay. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you the edit the column information, what the weighted total again looks like in my class. And so I have discussions, and when you create a discussion, okay, it's too late for you to probably do that now, but when you create discussions, that is allocated to a percentage of the grade. You can see right here that we have enough discussions, and we've incentivized this because people are really hurting with the social isolation and just having to leave school. So we're dropping the 2 lowest discussion grades. We have exams, okay, in this class. So we actually have a midterm and a final. They're both categorized as tests, so they're 10% each. We have reading quizzes, 15 of those. So we decided to drop the 2 lowest grades there as well, okay? And you always have the option of changing that. And then this is the final paper. It's a 10-page paper, Turnitin assignment, okay? And yeah, that's what it's all about. Okay, all right, cool. And in the end, it all adds up to 100%. Okay, that's important. All right, cool. So so that is it. So that's my quickie review of how to use Blackboard for right now. And this is my son's PE shirt. See, it says Walsh, and from high school. and so I will be generating some new how-to videos to create some really cool interactive content, amazing discussion boards, this whole concept of flipped classroom, which is basically just providing them reading in advance, and then the reading is linked to the discussion board. We have the ability to do quizzes. We have the ability to do, like I said, you can do polling questions in the very immediate. These are all options that are available to you. Okay, so I hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off. And please do not hesitate to email me. You can call me at 949-292-5198 as well if you have any questions. And we'll see you guys next time.